A very good morning to the distinguished judges on the dais, the dignitaries of the dais, and my dear friends. Well, at the outset, I'd like to thank the Scientific Committee of PI for giving me an opportunity to present my findings at this international forum. Malnutrition, as we all know, is a nutritional abnormality that is notorious for consuming millions of lives, approximately 3 million innocent lives every year. And this has caused, it is prevalent in every nook and corner of the world, and this has, it has become a cause of global concern for many national and international health organizations. So my research work has focused on malnutrition, and it was entitled as a comparative analysis of predominating gut enterotypes in children of varying nutritional status. Malnutrition is long believed to be caused due to an inappropriate nutrition intake, but of late it has found a new agent for its cause. It is the gut microbiota. It is hypothesized that a dysbiotic gut leads to malnutrition. So my study was designed to test this hypothesis of a dysbiotic gut leading to malnutrition, so that we could design a probable probiotic intervention which could rectify the dysbiosis and could also prove as a promising food supplement alternative and aid in the fight against malnutrition. So the research was designed with the following two objectives: to study the comparative abundance of major gut enterotypes in children of varying nutritional status by qPCR, and the second objective was to study the depletion of probionts and butyrogenic bacteria besides prevalence of pathobionts in children of varying nutritional status by qPCR. We started our study by taking informed consents from the parents of the children, and the children were categorized into the various categories: nutritional status of healthy, moderate acute malnourished, and severe acute malnourished, based on WHO Z scores, which were obtained from the WHO Anthro software. The stool samples of children were collected from Anganwadis with the help of a medical research institute. The subjects for malnourished subjects were selected based on a carefully laid down selection criteria, which included an exclusion criteria and an inclusion criteria. So we excluded children who were suffering from diarrhea and those who used antibiotics in the 3 months prior to the date of sample collection. We included the children who fell into the age group of 2 to 5 years and who fell into the various nutritional status of healthy, moderate acute malnourished, and severe acute malnourished. The methodology that was adopted to enumerate the bacterial numbers was as follows. We started with the extraction of metagenomic DNA from the fecal samples, then followed by the quality analysis, that is the purity, concentration, and PCR amenability of the DNA was checked. We selected the primers for the target DNA. We went on with the cloning of the target DNA into plasmid vector system. The plasmid copy numbers were calculated, and a standard curve was generated based on which was used for the absolute quantification approach of qPCR. The results that we got are presented as follows. For the comparative abundance of the major gut enterotypes, that is of proteobacteria, actinobacteria, bacteroids, firmicutes, eubacteria, we could find the following trends. In the eubacteria and bacteroids phyla, we could find a non-significant increase in the abundance with a decline in the nutritional status. For the firmicutes phyla, we recorded no significant increase or decrease with the decline in the nutritional status. For the proteobacteria and actinobacteria phyla, we observed a non-significant lowered abundance with a decline in the nutritional status. Coming to the probiotic genera of lactobacilli and bifidobacteria, in the lactobacilli genera, we found a non-significant increase in the lactobacilli numbers with a gradual decline in the nutritional status. In the bifidobacteria genera, we found a significant decline in the bifidobacterial numbers with the decline in the nutritional status. Coming to the major butyrogenic genera of bacteria, that is Faecalibacteria and Roseburia, the following trends were observed. We found a non-significant increase in the numbers of both Roseburia and Faecalibacteria with a gradual decline in the nutritional status. The pathogenic genera of Escherichia and Klebsiella, showed again a non-significant decrease in the numbers with a gradual decline in the nutritional status. So now, on comparing our study with those of the other workers who did a similar study with different approaches, we arrived at a summary that we could only find a significant decline in the numbers of bifidobacteria with a gradual decline in the nutritional status. So I would like to conclude my study by stating that it would be possible to improve the nutritional health of malnourished children with the dietary supplementation of bifidobacteria. However, I would emphasize that a more in-depth and extensive clinical study are required with the inclusion of larger number of human subjects to validate these findings. Thank you for your patient hearing.
Thank you. Wonderful study. Now that you have 4 minutes left, would you go back 3, 4, 5 slides? You were presenting important data, but you just flipped through them. Go back one more. Okay, 1 or 2 more, please. Because I would like even one more. I think this is where you started to show the difference, right?
Okay.
Or maybe one more.
Okay, just this one, sir?
Yeah, that's fine. So can you walk me through the differences that you found except bifido? What else you found?
So we actually found
And then
a non-significant.
You used a term gradual decline in the nutritional status. You did not do any longitudinal study. You did not take 2 samples from the same child. What do you mean by gradual decline?
No, I just, because that healthy, moderate acute malnutrition and severe acute malnutrition. That is
Okay,
my
that
like.
gradual.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the gradual decline.
And did you also use the term severe acute malnutrition?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You had some of those.
Yeah, we had.
And then you had the regular, moderately malnourished children.
Yes, we had all that.
Because you know those two are extremely kind of very distinctly different conditions. It's not really
Yes, sir.
the disruption in the microbiome will be quite
Mhm.
different if it is severe acute and all that. Okay, so based on that, what would you, other than bifido, which is very nice that you have found one, what happened to the rest?
So maybe we, because the sample group is small, so
Sure.
we couldn't infer the result.
So all of these are P of
More
more
convincing
than
as well.
0.5. So there was no difference, is what you are telling, right?
Yeah, no significant We
Difference.
couldn't. Yeah, no significant difference.
You expect that much difference here? Like, I personally feel you can see some differences. But do you expect that much difference?
So actually, if it is a significant difference, then only we can. If it should be a convincing, it should be convincing. But
You feel
if it is not statistically significant, then
You feel the increasing the number of samples may
yeah, that may give a better picture of.
Can you go to your last slide? So, do you think the data really supports this? I mean, you found a difference, but does the data support that a dietary supplementation is going to address this issue?
So maybe it is possible, because some of other workers have also found that bifidobacteria.
Found that it's lacking.
Sorry.
It found that it's lacking, but that's a
Yeah.
it's a big step to take that a dietary supplementation will address this issue.
So yeah, that's what I told. We need to do more studies with we need to increase the numbers of
And what kind of
subjects.
studies? So yeah, what kind of studies do you think you need to do more of?
Maybe we need to go for clinical studies feeding supplements. First, we need to do the preliminary study as well with a larger number of subjects to just validate, is bifidobacteria really decreasing, and then we can go for the supplementation with probiotics and then the trials.
And in your sample, did you match the age? You said between 2 and 5.
Yes, sir.
So you had none that were younger than 2, because
No.
because that is where it starts, and that's a
Yeah,
big
yes,
the
sir.
first 2 years
Yes, sir.
are extremely critical.
We took only those who fell in the age group of 2 to 5 years.
But I can understand if you're going to an Anganwadi center, obviously they won't be there, so
Yeah.
it's easier to take that sample. But by that time, the die might have already been cast. So whatever happened, it happened a few years prior to that. So you might not be able to catch the culprit. but it's extremely difficult studies. You
Yes.
have to watch over years, and you have to. So what you have done is wonderful. So don't get me wrong. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now our next presenter is B. Bhima.